All right, we are going to get started on Word Module 3, the textbook project. So I'm just in Cengage MindTap, and I'm going to open up the textbook project, Word Module 3. So this is creating tables and a multi-page report. So I'm going to click Start. And I'm going to go ahead and download my files. And I'm going to get started with the NPWD 3-1. So I'm going to open that up. Click Enable Editing. And the first thing I'm going to do is save it in my document formatting folder. So I'm going to click File, Save As, and Browse. And I'm going to find my document formatting folder. All right, and I'm going to name this. I'm going to name it the expected file name. So there's actually two. This one is going to be computer classes. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it into my file name. All right, so np_wd_3_ computer classes_ my first and last name. All right, so I'm going to save that. And I'm going to turn on my paragraph show hide. Mine's on. I'm going to zoom in a bit so it's easier to see. And I'm going to go ahead and open up the navigation pane. So I'm just going to click down here where my page numbers are, open up my navigation pane. And I'm going to click on my headings in my navigation pane. So here you can see summary, instructors, background, and so on. And I'm going to click current plans heading. So when I click that, it will take me to the current plans heading in my document. And in the navigation pane, I'm going to click on the triangle beside current plans. This will, when I click it, this will make it so that it will collapse the subheadings just in the navigation pane. Obviously, you can still see them in your document. And then if I click the triangle again, this will expand, and then you can see them here in the navigation pane. I'm going to right-click the schedule heading in the navigation pane, and I'm going to click Promote. So Promote will move this to being the same level as expenditure. So I'm just going to do that again just to show. So you can even see here in the document, expenditures is a side hanging. It does have a bit of a different size font and so on than the schedule heading. So it's like a subheading of expenditures. So again, I'm going to click schedule. I'm going to right click promote. And then this will just update that heading so that it's the same as expenditures. Now I'm going to drag the schedule heading up, and I'm going to make it so it's directly below current plan. So I'm just going to click and drag it so you can see the line just under current plans. So this will take that entire heading and everything that's under schedule and move it up so that it's above expenditures. All right, and then just going to click anywhere to deselect the text. All right, next I'm going to click instructors, instructors heading in the navigation pane. And then in the document, I'm just going to place when I place my pointer over the instructor's heading, you'll notice that there's this little triangle that pops up beside instructors. Same with background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that triangle beside instructors in my document, and then that will just collapse the text that's below instructors. And then I'm going to do the same for background. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to select the instructor's heading, including the paragraph mark in my document. And I'm going to click and drag the heading down. And I'm going to position it to the left of C in course topics. So I have it selected. I'm just going to click and drag it down, and see my insertion point is now before the C in course topics, and then I'll release my mouse. And so then instructors goes just before the course topics heading. And then I'm going to click the triangle to expand and click the triangle to expand background. So this is a great way, instead of having to cut and paste headings and text and worry about line spacing and all of that. This is an easy way to move paragraphs, entire paragraphs in a document. All right, let's save that. Okay, next we're going to insert a blank table. So in the navigation pane, let's click expenditures, and we're going to put our insertion point to the left of the E in expenditures in our document. And then I'm going to press Control Enter. So Control Enter creates a new page. And because we hit Control Enter before the E in expenditures, it moves this down to the new page. And then let's hit Control End to get to the end of our document. On our ribbon, we're going to click our Insert tab, and then in our Tables group, so it's right here, I'm going to click the table arrow, and I'm going to point to the upper left cell. So here I can easily just kind of hover over and drag to determine the size of my table. So in this case, I want to make a table that is 2 columns by 4 rows. So 2 by 4. So if I click over that, it will insert my table for me. So the insertion point is in my upper left cell. Now you notice that there's these little kind of symbols in my table. That's just my paragraph mark for the table cell. So I will turn it on again, but that's what that mark is for. All right, in our first cell, we're going to type item, capital ITEM, and press your tab key. Your tab key will take you to the next cell. All right, let's see. Then I'm going to type cost and press tab. Then I'm going to type access points. You notice when I typed access, I just use lowercase for the A, and it will automatically make it a capital A for access points. I'm going to press tab, and I'm going to type $375. And then press tab, and then I'm going to type computer, can't spell computer, computer hardware, and then the amount is 10,500, and include the comma between the 10 and the 5. The next one is server tab, and it's 1,200. And then if I were to press Tab key again, it creates a new blank row. And then I'm going to type software, press my Tab key, and I'm going to type 550. All right, now I'm going to position my pointer. I'm just going to close my navigation pane for now. I'm going to position my pointer to the left of my header row. So when I position my pointer over here and I click, it will select that entire row. So with that the header row selected, I'm going to press Control B. So Control B is another way of applying bold. The other way, of course, is going to your Home tab and clicking the B for bold. And then you can just click anywhere to deselect that header row. All right, so just click anywhere in the table. On your ribbon, you're going to click your table layout tab. So you notice that anytime you have a table and you have you're clicked in your table, you have table design tab and table layout. If I were to click outside my table, just in the regular text of my document, that table design and table layout tab are no longer there. So I have to be clicking, my insertion point has to be in my table for those to be accessible. So I'm going to click table layout, and in the data group, so on the far right of my ribbon, I'm going to click sort. And then on the left at the top, I'm going to click sort by, click the arrow, and we're going to click cost. And then click OK. So this will sort it in ascending order by cost. So the lowest cost to the highest cost. So just click anywhere and save. Okay. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to position our pointer at the top of the table so it's in between the border, like between the two columns. So you notice if I position it just like in between and just kind of above, you'll see this plus with a circle. You're going to click on that, and this will insert a new column in between those two rows, or a new column in between the two columns. And then in this one, in the top cell, we're going to type setup cost. And then you can use your down arrow keys on your keyboard to come down. And you're going to type 250, down arrow key, and then 750, down, and then 275, down, and then 825. Okay. All right, the next thing that we're going to do is delete some rows and columns. So we're going to triple click the cell containing the text computer hardware. So I triple click that cell, and now I'm going to type laptop, computers, and server hardware. And this, you'll notice the text wraps to the next line. All right, now we're going to click in the selection bar to the left of the server row. So if I hover over, so my insertion point, like the arrow points up and to the right, if I click, that will select that entire row. And then on my mini toolbar that pops up, I can click on this delete arrow and click delete row. and that will delete that entire row. All right. Now we're going to position our pointer over the right border of the setup cost so that our pointer changes to like kind of two vertical, two vertical lines, and then an arrow going to the left, arrow going to the right. So if I hover my mouse just between that so that the pointer changes to that, and I double click, sometimes it takes a couple of tries. There, it worked the second time. You just double click, and then that will automatically make it so that that cell is it fits the content more. And then we're going to be sure that your table layout tab is selected, and in the auto fit in the cell size, so you're going to click auto fit, and you're going to click auto fit contents, and this will ensure that the entire table, that all of your cells fit properly. Okay. Next, just we are going to click on our table design tab. So table design, and in the table styles group, so right here in the middle, we're going to click our more button. And so here we have lots of different styles for our table. And if we hover over them in the background, you can kind of see how they change. We are going to choose grid table 4 accent 6. So that is this one here. So it's under the grid tables section, the fourth row, last one over, grid table 4 accent 6. So you click that applies that style to that table. And then we are going to come up to your table style options group on your far left of your ribbon, and you're going to deselect first column. All right, so this should remove the bold formatting in the item column. So again, see how these access point software and so on are bold. If I click first column, it makes it so that those become just regular font. All right, we're going to click on our table styles group and click the more button. And we're going to come to the bottom and we're going to click clear. We decide we don't want that style. We just want to go back to our plain table. And then let's click on our table layout tab. In our table group, so over here, far left. And if it's not currently grayed, so if you're not able to see grid lines on your table, you're going to click View Grid Lines so that you can see the lines in your table. So these lines will not print. These are just for viewing on a page. So these are helpful for when you're editing and formatting, but if you were to print the document, you wouldn't see those kind of gray lines. All right, let's press Control Z. This will bring back that table style that we just removed. And then we are going to click on our table select handle. So top left corner of my table, there is this Okay, so with our, we're going to click on our table select, that little square, and we're going to click table design. And then in our borders group over here on the far right, we're going to click the borders arrow and we're going to click no border. And then in our borders group, then we're going to click our border painter. And then we're going to click our pen color right here. And we are going to choose orange accent 2. So that's this one. And then for the line weight, so right up here where it has half point, we're going to click 3 point. And then we're just going to try this out. So we're just going to click anywhere like on some different lines in our table. And this will apply like a thicker orange border. And then to turn off your painter, you can just press your escape key. And then we're just going to reapply our grid table for accent 6 style. So I'm just going to click on my table design and click that again to reapply. All right, and then we are going to save our document, and then we're going to go ahead and close this one. So file, close. All right, our next one we're going to open up. Let's open up, go to file, open. We're going to open up the other file that we would have downloaded, the NPWD 3-2. So I'm going to go to my downloads. So I'll go down to browse. And then I'm going to go to my downloads and NP 3-2. Click on that to open it. Click enable editing. I'm going to zoom in a bit. And I'm going to save this one. So file, save as, browse. And I'm going to go to my OneDrive, document formatting 1. I'm going to save it where I save my files. And then this one is hardware cost. So I'm just going to select that name and copy it and paste that into my file name. And I'm going to save. Okay. All right. Next, we're going to put our insertion point in the blank cell below 1200. And we're going to click our table layout tab. And in our data group on the far right, we're going to click formula. This opens up our little formula window. And this text here, this field, is what our formula is. So this one is equals sum above. So it's going to add up this cost column. The number format, we're going to click on the arrow and we're going to choose the number format, the number sign, comma, number sign, 0. And then we're going to click OK. And so here we see that the total cost gets entered of $10,000. We're going to click before the 1 and just add the $sign. All right, and then we can save it. Now we're going to change one of the costs. So we're going to click on this cell where it has 4,800, and we're going to remove the 8 and type 0 to change it to 4,000. And then we're going to click in the 10,000 field and right click and click update field. And this will automatically recalculate our formula. All right, our next step is to merge cells. We're going to click and drag the two bottom cells, and then we'll come up to our merge group and we're going to click merge cells. After we merge the cells, we're going to type in all caps total. And then we're going to click on our home tab. And in our paragraph group, we're going to click right align to bring our total to the right of the cell. And then we're going to select that bottom row and we're going to apply bold. All right. Now, next is to create a watermark. So we're going to click on our design tab, and then over in our page background group on the far right of a ribbon, we're going to click watermark. And then at the bottom, we're going to click custom watermark. We're going to select text watermark. And then in the text field, we're going to click the arrow and we're going to select draft and then click OK. So this applies a grayed out draft on our page. All right, so we're going to save this and we can close it.